everyone, Timely Matter here, back with another video. This time it's of a custom car mock and design, which I call the Royal. This is supposed to be a front-engine grand touring car, and it's a sort of luxury exotic type of car. Something that's inspired by a lot of mid-2000s European cars, like the Aston Martins and the Mercedes McLaren SLR as well. That provided some inspiration for this car, and also the latest Maserati GranTurismo actually. So let's start with the front of the car, where I've got these brick-built vertical lights right here, and I've also been inspired a bit by the Ferrari 599, which also has these short vertical headlights at the front. I really like how these are done. These are probably my favorite parts of the car because they have a hint of the indicator lights underneath there with the orange and light bluish gray underneath. And everything in this car is brick built. There are no stickers at all. So if I just open up the hood, I can show you that some of the clips that I've used to assemble the front of the car, I've just changed to orange and the bracket to light bluish gray. And that gives a slight appearance underneath the trans piece here to show that it looks like an indicator light. This is inspired by the Lamborghini Countach, where they've got the stickers of orange underneath the transparent headlights to show the indicator lights. So as you'll see throughout the video, a lot of the build techniques that I've used in the car have been inspired by other techniques that I've either come across or used myself. With the grille pieces as well, I've used those ice skate pieces that you get in the Pagani Utopia at the front of the car. Just use those bar and stud pieces in black here again and again with a spacing of one stud in between to attach the grills to the front, and that also allows it to give that sort of slight downwards angle, which I think gives the car a bit of personality, and I'm just really happy with how it turned out. I think cars with a really prominent grille are quite common in sort of European front-engine GT cars, like when you think of Mercedes Benz cars and Aston Martin cars. Quite a bit of them have like prominent grills, so really happy with how that turned out. It's big, it's aggressive, combined with the vertical short headlights gives this car quite an exotic look, which I'm really happy with. In addition to the exotic look as well is the color combination of the straight black with the tan interior. I think is a classic, really nice combination. And it looks luxurious as well, so that's why I went with it. Let's go to the midsection now, the windscreen. This technique that I used for the brick built windscreen to get it this sort of wide, where it's like around 7 studs wide at the base and it tapers to 6 studs at the top, using these clips arranged this way, isn't something I came up with. It's something that NV Car MOCs uses a lot in his MOCs, which you can see on Instagram and on Rebrickable. The only difference that I did is that I recessed this entire bit in the front. So what I mean by that is when you look at it from the side profile of the car, you don't see any of that build, right? Because it's sort of built into the car, and it just helps with the silhouette of the car, makes it look a lot more sleek. So I also, speaking of making it look sleek, shaped the front of the car using some wedge tiles here, just to make it shaped like a windscreen would be shaped like at the front, with that sort of curve right there. So I'm really happy with how that turned out. As you can see, the seats are detailed up with even the headrest and the sloping backrest, and despite that, we've still got space for a minifigure because I am using that new chassis piece that comes with all the latest Speed Champions cars, which is very helpful. And the doors here are sloped inwards, so if you can see from the front, they're 8 studs wide, they taper inwards. And if I show you the top view, you can see what it looks like. So how it goes in and then out again, and you can see that from the side as well. And the side of the doors goes inwards and outwards again. This gives it a unique sort of shape, a flowing shape that's interesting to the eyes, and it's not just, you know, a straight rectangle of a car. And when we go to the back, we've got these curved tiles, which sort of give it a nice contour and gives it a nice shape from the sides as well. This is inspired by my version of the Aston Martin Vantage. So you can, as you can see there, that's the build that I use for my Vantage. Gives it a nice sleek and sporty look at the back because it's still quite thin, and it's the same here. With the lights though, these lights are quite chunky, I think, and I wanted it to be that way. As I said previously, I wanted this to be inspired by cars from like the sort of mid 2000s era, which they often would have fairly chunky headlights. Rear lights, sorry. So that's what I made. And again, the red obviously indicates the braking lights, the clear can indicate the indicator lights, and I have included some orange pieces behind the clear pieces to show that. So I'm really happy with how that turned out. You can see that on both sides, just using a 1x1 orange plate. And I'm also happy with how the back is shaped here, where this is thicker than this by half a stud as well. I think it's just important to get that sort of shape of wide, and then like it comes back in again. Even with this, it's just natural. And I've also got a suggestion of a bit of a diffuser down here with that piece right there, and obviously the exhaust as well. And the seats for this car were inspired by the build that I used for the Pagani Utopia. Not the Utopia, the Zonda. As you can see there, it's very simple. And the doors, I forgot to mention, were also inspired by a previous mock that I made, which is the Ferrari LaFerrari. You've got the sort of tile bracket tile combination, which I've used here, and it's easy for that sub-assembly to be hinged in different directions. So obviously this hinges towards the rear, this pinches towards the front, right? It's just the opposite, but the execution is really similar in concept. So yeah, this car is a sort of culmination of a lot of the build techniques that I've learned this year combined into a single creation. It just goes to show how when you understand a lot of the build techniques and where to use them, it becomes really flexible and you can apply it to a lot of different scenarios. I've also wanted to show you a picture right here of the car fitting a couple of minifigures, one minifigure with a thicker hairpiece, which is quite difficult to fit in some other MOCs, but with the amount of space provided by the new chassis piece, and also removing a couple of sub-assemblies of the seat itself, you can actually fit in a minifigure with a big hairpiece fairly easily inside the car. So that is my review of this MOC. I'm going to be posting roughly one MOC every month or a couple of months. I think I'm going to get quite busy now that I'm entering a new section of my life with regards to work. But everything's all good, and I hope you guys will continue to enjoy these short videos. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.